Welcome to the Northeast Kingdom Voice. I'm your host, Scott Wheeler. It's that time of year. It's time for the Orleans County Fair. And this year's an extra special year. It's the 150th birthday of that fair. Today's guests are here to talk about an upcoming parade of Lincolns. Our guests are Mark Hayes and Pam Tatro. I'll let you introduce yourselves and how you happen to be chosen to be here.
Well, I'm Mark Hayes. I'm the owner of Hayes Ford Lincoln. So I'm here for obvious reasons. We've had the Lincoln dealership along with the Ford since 1971. And we also have a 1932 Lincoln limousine that'll probably be in the parade.
Right.
I'm Pam Tatro. I'm a director for the Orleans County Fair. And I have been working with Mark for some time now to try to get this going and to set a Guinness World Book of Records with this attempt of having 250 Lincoln cars.
And this isn't the first time that the Orleans County Fair, or more locally known, the Barton Fair, has actually tried to break a record. Last time you did, it was the Cadillac Parade. Now, what year was that?
That was in 2011, and we did set the Guinness World Book of Records. We needed 220 cars, and we had 298 cars. So it's very doable. We're very excited to invite all the Lincoln owners to come on out and join us in Barton this year, especially for our 150th anniversary, and to honor Henry Leland, whose birthplace was Barton, Vermont, and hopefully succeed with this.
Right. Yeah. And here's a photo of Mr. Leland. Yeah, it is kind of interesting. A lot of people were surprised when they learned that he was from this area. He grew up in Barton, went on and made a living in the automobile industry, but he was also a world-renowned inventor, and he did come back more than once to visit his hometown and his home region. And I understand some of his relatives, some of his distant relatives actually still live in this area.
Yes, they do. We are hoping that a relative, Doug Leland, might join us. He did come to Barton for the 2011 event, so we're really hopeful that he'll join us on Wednesday, August 16th, when we make the Lincoln attempt.
Right. Okay, here's a photo of the Cadillac event. Now that's an amazing photo that was taken, I believe, by Dan Gavin at the airport. It shows all the Cadillacs.
Yes.
Around the track. And here is Doug Leland and his wife coming into the fairgrounds, and he looks almost like the real thing.
He does. It was amazing to watch.
Right. And he loved every moment of it. I talked to them quite a bit, and they just seemed to really enjoy themselves. So are you going to be giving away free Lincolns, or
Well,
not quite?
I don't think so. Remember what we are. We're at the end of the world in the Northeast Kingdom.
Right.
So
I've got to commend you, Mark. Is your business does so much. You're not just a business. That's out to make money. Of course you're out to make money, but you give a tremendous amount back to this community, and I think Pam would agree that you do a really great job at doing that, and I commend you.
Well, thank you for recognizing that. We have fun doing it. I never wanted any more than one dealership because I wanted to be not the biggest by any means, but the best.
Right.
With the service after the sale.
Yeah.
And it's where I live.
Right.
So it behooves me to give back to where I live.
You do a little bit of everything when it comes to giving. I know you have.
Well, actually, just before this broadcast, we have a meeting every Tuesday, and we determine what we're going to give to.
Mm-hmm.
It's under the considerations part of our
Right.
agenda.
Right. So how come, Pam, you decided, is it because it's the 150th year that you decided to move forward with this idea?
Yes, I did. We really needed something big to celebrate the 150th and to draw people in. And because Henry Leland was from Barton, and it was such a success with the Cadillac Parade when Lori Seedale organized it in 2011, I thought we should do it again. And I've been speaking with Mark. I am a Lincoln owner, and I think this is my third Lincoln that I've bought from Mark. And so I've been speaking to him. Come on, Mark, don't you think we could do this? Don't you think we could do this, please? And he finally gave me the go-ahead not that long ago.
No.
And so it's moved fast, and we want to get the word out to everyone. And we hope that all owners of Lincoln join us in Barton on August 16th.
Which
this-
happens to be the opening day of the fair.
Opening day, yes.
Is the gathering spot the same place as it was for the Cadillac Parade at Lake Region?
Yes, it is. Everyone will gather at Lake Region Union High School. I believe they can start gathering at 7:30 in the morning to start getting lined up between then and 9. And then we're hoping to leave Lake Region High School about 11:15 so that we can be in front of the grandstand by noon
Right.
at the fairgrounds.
How is it shaping up?
Really good. We're very happy with the response that we've had so far.
Do you, Mark, you must have somewhat of a list of Lincoln owners you've dealt with. Have you reached out to them?
Well, see, we have, excuse me, we have a bunch of email addresses, which we are doing. My BDC person, Jessica.
Yes, we're just in the process of getting postcards sent out, and Jessica from Hayes Ford is taking care of emailing everyone.
Yes.
And we're reaching out to other dealers in the New England, hoping that they would share our information also. We've also reached out to a couple of the antique car associations to see if possibly they would want to join us.
Have you managed to work your way into the Burlington market to get word out in that region, or?
I have not yet. However, I am hoping to have an interview with Dan Perrin on this subject, and from WCAX. And
He's a Barton Glover boy.
he
Yeah,
is a
that's right.
Barton Glover
He's
boy, and
one of
I
us.
have an email prepared to send to him, and I'm hoping that maybe we could get something done with WCAX or 7 Days.
Right. 7 Days has really been doing an amazing job at being a newspaper. They've actually been on here just because, they're print and they're online, and I just think they do an amazing job.
I do too. I've watched, I pick up the newspaper when I'm in the Burlington area. If I stop at a restaurant and I see the 7 Days there, I'll quite often pick it up and browse through and see what's going on for community events.
Actually, they have the paper up here too,
Right.
in some places.
And it's all online too. It's all free and online. And they do an amazing. Even when I disagree with the articles, I appreciate all the work they do about putting in, because from being a former newspaper person myself who has a magazine, I know the work that goes in to a publication, and they do a lot of work, a lot of good footwork too. So hopefully you're able to break into that market, because probably Burlington has more, far more Lincolns than the entire Northeast Kingdom has.
Actually, you brought up some I'm thinking as this is going on, which is good. Maybe I ought to get a hold of some of my Canadian people. Every
definitely.
summer we've had a car show on the third Friday, which we just had one last Friday, third Friday from June through September. And I think I should be getting hold of them.
That's
We had
true.
quite a few Canadians that came down for my event on Friday night.
That's a very good point, because living here on the border, even though, did you grow up here as well?
In Lowell, yes.
Right. So we sometimes forget, the border's there, but people can cross it. And you look at how many millions of people who just live a short drive from Barton, just across the border. You got Montreal, you got Sherbrooke, you have other notable communities, and that's a very good point that
Yeah.
you want to reach out
And
to.
it's a very different world too,
Right.
as soon as across the border. We're very fortunate being so close to another country.
Right.
What happens to like us?
Right.
I do advertise just in Sherbrooke, and we have the weekend before the fair. We're going to be hosting Lipizzan Stallions are coming back to Barton.
Wow.
And I have reached out already because there are a lot of horse people that also come across the border and watch our shows.
Yeah. So how long have you been involved with the fair?
For 8 years.
8 years. And I see some of your veterans at the fair were just recognized, inducted into the Agricultural Hall of Fame as Rupert and Muriel
Chamberlain.
Chamberlain.
Yes, that's wonderful.
Yeah, I understand. I know of them, but I don't know them. But I posted that on my Facebook site, and they seem to be beloved within the Fair Association and the agricultural community.
Yes, they dedicated many, many, many hours to agriculture. They served on the board. Rupert actually was a former president of the Orleans County Fair, and they did a lot of work. Everyone appreciates what they've done in the past.
Right. So how many more? So the fair is the 16th.
Through the 20th.
16th through the 20th. I always usually it falls within my anniversary time, which I better get this right, August 17th. So I know pretty much when it's going to be.
Well,
it used to be held in September, according to the old newspaper clippings I have, and they moved it up.
Yes, I did notice that. You had an article in your
My July.
Vermont Northland Journal with a picture of a 1924 advertisement, and it was like September 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. So that was surprising that they moved it. I'm not sure when it got moved
Right.
into the month of August. But for your anniversary, if you want to bring her out on Thursday, the 17th, we do have a unique edition this year. In keeping with the 150th celebration, we have the Vermont Burlesque Show that will be joining us 6 o'clock and 9 o'clock on Thursday.
That's not the same with the hoochie show.
It is
No.
not the same
No, no.
as the girlies shows.
No.
It is a very tasteful
It's
reenactment.
an acting art form, right?
It is an art
Yeah,
form.
yes.
It is done very tastefully. But it definitely would be something that you should bring your wife to.
Right. Yeah, because we eat very healthy, but the one thing we do is once a year we get ourselves. We love the bloomin' onions.
Oh, it's my favorite.
Yeah.
Every time I see
must
Tony
agree with
Menard,
you.
I love the blooming onions.
But you-
I stay there all week, so that's not really good necessarily for my
It's not a
diet.
good diet.
But,
But,
I did write, though, in one of my issues here, though, that I've even watched the food evolve at the fair. Of course, you have your old standbys, but there is an attempt by some to actually try to have a little bit offer a healthier
Oh, yes.
fare.
Definitely. There are other venues that have not just the greasy fried food.
Right.
There are healthier options. I know that Matt Wright runs the farmer's table for us, and he has salads in there, and it's a little bit different, more home cooked meals that are healthier.
What's your favorite fair food, Mark?
Actually, as we're talking about this, I didn't have much for breakfast because I was on the radio earlier this morning, and it's wow, because they have nice roasted meats there,
Right.
like roasted turkey, whatever,
Right.
which is non-greasy, or roasted pork sandwiches and things like that. But you go there for the French fries, the poutine.
Oh yeah. You know though, I have found the one, kind of two things that I can't eat anymore, and I used to love it, but I would leave my teeth and my crowns in it. I used to love candied apples.
Yeah.
And the caramel apples, but I know if I bit right into one of those candied apples, my dental work
Yeah.
would be popping out.
Yeah.
But those blooming onions.
Those are very
I'd have
good.
to say they're my
We
favorite.
all agree on that.
Yeah.
That's very good. But the deep fried bacon wrapped hot dogs is a bit much, don't you think?
I didn't try that.
Okay.
Yeah, but you know another thing I saw, and I just can't. I love pickles, but what fried pickles?
Fried
yeah,
pickles.
I was thinking about that.
I've never had. Have you had one?
I have
Yeah,
never
I
had a
have.
fried
I
pickle.
have.
You did. And what was your thought?
It was, it's salty and vinegary at the same time.
Would you have another one?
No.
No. Well, it's kind of like when I go to Florida, I see people, and my wife can eat them, but it's like, boiled peanuts. I don't care for those either. So I'm kind of fussy. But then the old standby is the fried dough.
Yes.
That's good stuff too.
Well, which is kind of like a donut, right?
Yeah.
And who could go to the fair without ice cream?
Yeah.
We have there's a
Yes.
lot of ice cream vendors down through there.
Yes.
You go down through the barn area, the dairy barn, the 4-H center. They have great ice cream. Kingdom Creamery goes through.
Well, what about the maple producers?
Oh,
They have
the maple shop.
wonderful
the maple ice cream is
creamies and
great.
ice cream.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Yes.
You can't go to the fair without checking out the maple shop
course.
either.
So there's, besides trying to break world records and everything, and besides the fair food, you also have a bit of education. I know I don't believe the sugar house is that many years old.
No, and the Little Farmhands was just done, I believe, 5 years ago also. And that's an interactive exhibit that the kids go through and learn about the animals and the cows and the chickens. And we've been very fortunate to have volunteers help with that project. And our goal is to get them to actually go right through the dairy barn, to see a live cow being milked, to see the other animals in the petting zoo, the chickens, the poultry, rabbits, and then the horses. On Kids Day this year, we're fortunate to have pony rides, free pony rides in the outside arena on Kids Day. And some kids have never ridden on a pony,
Right.
so it's an opportunity.
Well, the thing is the further we get away from our agricultural roots, even living in the Northeast Kingdom, you might not have that much association with farming, and so going to the fair might be their only connection to agriculture. So even as a kid, I liked going. Actually, I still do like going to the agricultural part of it, the animals and such.
We're fortunate this year that we are going to be able to get a few agricultural antique equipment from the Fred Webster collection. And with that, we're hoping to demonstrate old and new, so that the local dealers might bring us a new rake, and we would be able to display that against an old rake, just so you could see the evolution of the equipment as it has come up through.
Right. And agriculture in this area, yes, a lot of small farms went out, but some others are springing up, like the alpacas. Are you going to have any alpacas?
Yes, alpacas
You
will
know,
be there.
those are the sweetest animals. I don't care. Some people maybe don't like them. Have you ever dealt with any alpacas, Mark?
Actually, where I live in Derby, my neighbor down below has a few of them. So
Oh,
when I do my bike ride early in the morning, I come by and say hi to the alpacas on my return loop.
Right. They're Coventry Falls alpacas. They just welcome people to come in. They have like 100 and something.
Yeah.
Then I don't know if you've ever had Tojo and Jesse down to the fair. Tojo and Jesse are their big camels.
Yeah.
The double humped camels, and
So-
they and I keep reminding, as you mentioned, the Webster collection. Fred likes to think he's quite the celebrity in Coventry, having been on American Pickers.
He is.
Yeah.
And I did tell him, though, he's not the only reality TV show.
No, Gary.
Jesse, no,
Gary.
Who?
Here,
Yeah, but
only-
he's from Derby, I think.
Yeah,
But
okay.
no, in Coventry, there's
Okay.
another reality TV show star. It's Jesse the Camel. Jesse came here courtesy of Shipping Wars, another reality. And they had to
yeah.
figure out how to get Jesse the Camel from Oklahoma to Coventry. So at some point, I've told Fred, I said, I want to get a photo of the two Coventry reality TV stars in one shot. Now, Fred might be almost 100, but I'm sure I could even, you know Fred. Do you know Fred?
I do. I spent a few hours with him last Saturday.
Fred would be more than happy to hop on that camel's back, I bet. So so you have two reality TV shows, stars right there in
Northeast
Coventry.
Kingdom, right in the Northeast Kingdom here.
Yeah, and I dare say that probably Fred did Fred grow up going to the fair?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he did. And he is, I believe, going to bring his latest stagecoach that he just created. He was putting the finishing touches on it, painting it up, and
Oh, wow.
I believe he's going to bring that for us to display.
What do you think you'll be doing, Mark, at almost 100? Do you think you'll be doing what Fred does?
That's only 34 years away from me, but I hope I'm in good health so I can be very active.
Well,
Continue to be very.
Fred is still out there, and if you ever watch him on the dance floor, he thinks he's a teenager.
Wow, he still dances.
Oh, he can.
my
Yeah,
God.
he can jitterbug and whatever all over the place.
That's why he's 100 probably.
Yeah, well,
Stays active.
he's nearing it. I think he's like more like 96 or
Well,
something like
that's
that.
pretty close.
It's about 20 more years and I'll live.
Yeah.
Again, the parade is on the 16th.
Yes, Wednesday the 16th at 11.
Right.
On Wednesday, it's Kids Day. So we have a lot of events planned for the kids. We will have the pig scramble at 2 o'clock. We have a coin scramble at 4. We have a bike giveaway. We have Russ Ingalls from Agent 27 and Remax giving away 10 bicycles and helmets. Community National Bank is giving away a small Power Wheels. And because at 6 o'clock, we've started a new kids demo derby. Last year, we had almost 30 young kids between the age of 4 and 8 participate in the kids demo. And they really, really enjoyed it, had a heck of a time.
Oh, with real cars?
They're little Power Wheels,
Oh.
6 or 12 volt batteries.
Wow.
And we put balloons on their bumpers, and they smash into each other to pop the balloons.
Okay.
And the one that still has their balloons is the winner.
That's
And
cute.
it was really cute. The kids really, really enjoyed it. We have the pony rides. We have Buddy the Clown will be helping that day. We have face painting by Brienne. So we're hoping that Kids Day, that the Mother Nature provides us with a wonderful day. And with the Lincoln Parade on that day, Wednesday opening day really should be a great day.
So can you look in your crystal ball and tell me, what is the weather going to be like on the 16th?
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
It's going to be beautiful.
Yeah. And that's going to go right through the...
Right through the whole week, yes,
Because
yes.
I can't...
You know, I'm a farm girl too,
Right.
so I've been watching AccuWeather and Gary Sadowski and Tom Mesner, and really none of them know. But I am confident that the week of the fair this year, for our 150th, that
It's
God
gonna
and
be
Mother
good.
Nature are going to take good care of us.
It's
Well,
going to be good.
As we record, I've got to ask you this. If you can control the weather like that, as we record, which is on a Tuesday before this airs, as people are watching this show, my entire family, my kids are coming to the area, and we rent a place on Lake Willoughby. So just,
For this weekend?
Yeah, the first week of August, I would like you to talk to the rain gods and ask if they can back off for 1 week, and then you can have your week of
Okay.
Orleans County Fair. And the week in between, that's all.
That's open.
Let the skies open up. So, Mark, did you grow up going to the fair?
Yeah, I'm actually from, although I've been here since the Navy in 1974, I'm actually from Enosburg, which is the next county over,
Right.
as you know. And yes, we would go to Tunbridge Fair and Champagnat Fair.
Right.
And my experience with the Orleans County Fair didn't start until after I was out of the Navy
Right.
in mid-'70s.
You know, a lot of people don't realize how much work goes in, because I host events, but nothing to this massive scale. Don't you really, you probably take a week or two off after the fair and take a deep breath. And a lot of people probably, if you're anything like me, you probably say never, ever again. And then after this, like women tell me after during childbirth, you say never, ever again. But then after you're done, it's like, that wasn't too bad. And is the fair kind of like childbirth?
It is, and I do on the come the after you've been there for the whole week, 24/7. The next day you just crash.
Yeah.
You stay in your pajamas all day, and you do say no, never again. And then you think about it and the good that it provides to the community, the good that it does for agriculture in our area, and we keep going.
Hey, when I interview people, especially the old timers, some of them are now gone, like Roy Ingalls, who was around. He remembered going there in horse and buggy even. But almost anybody I interview, young or old, they talk about some time-honored traditions about the fair. Of course, all the older ones all remember, all the guys remember the girly shows. But they also, one other thing is everybody has, and I never did it myself, but so many people have stories about how they got in without paying, which is a pain in the butt for you guys because you need that money. But it's so funny. Most of them will even tell you it's like the Derby Port Drive-In. Most of the people who snuck into the Derby
They
Port,
went in the trunk.
They didn't need it for the money. It was the challenge. But my favorite one was somebody was telling me that some of the farmers decided to make the hole underneath the fence that used to be down by the barns a little more challenging. They slicked it up with cow manure.
Oh.
So come nightfall, people were just like
Oh my
sliding belly first.
I think you wrote about that in your July issue.
Yes, I did.
All right, I thought I heard that story.
Right, yeah. So I've been, they talk about that. Then, of course, the old trunk thing. But on the serious side, you really do need the money to keep
We
going.
do. A lot of people don't realize how much it actually costs to keep the fairgrounds going. Our utility cost, electric, water, sewer, is over $20,000 for the year. Our insurance is like $22,000 for the year. So, and we have to have a couple of employees that are on there. Most everyone volunteers their time. I have been volunteering my time really for the last 5 years, and I manage all of the finances. So and I've taken on the social media and a lot of the other things that need to be done. But people think that, you charge the gate and the fair's rolling in money. That is not true. And the premiums that we pay, we try to take care. We're very fortunate to have sponsors. If we didn't have the big sponsors that we have, we really wouldn't be able to survive. The community gives, and we give back to the community.
Right. The thing is that really, you guys have to put up with so much too, because you work so hard to try to figure out. I've watched you trying to figure out your formulas, how to have people pay. You've throughout the years, just like, well, okay, do we have people just pay for the rides, or do we have everybody pay for everything? But there's so many armchair people sitting back throwing darts at you too, and that would really get old after a while.
We try our best. We try to listen to the community, and this is a change this year. For the last 10 years, the bracelet and gate was all inclusive, and we had a lot of people say, I come to the fair, I'd come more, but it costs too much, and I don't ride the rides. Especially older people or those that didn't have kids. So we have tried something different this year. We've lowered our gate. That includes all of the shows that we have, like the Bob Marley show. great comedian on Saturday night at 8:30. So our shows are all included with that. And the new vendor that we have for the Midway is a really great family-oriented from Massachusetts. That's Kavanaugh Amusements. So we're really hopeful that the community takes to the new gate pricing and that the kids have a great time, still affordable way.
Okay, Mark, final words.
Well, again, we are still trying to get our number so we can break the record. So anyone that's listening or knows that someone has a Lincoln of any year, we would encourage you to come up the day before, the day of the parade.
Okay, how can they contact one or both of you?
Well, Hayes Ford is, my email is mark, M-A-R-K, at hayesford.com, or our number is 802-334-6587.
And you, any final words, and how to contact you?
They can call or go online to orleanscountyfair.net. We will have a link right there and all of the information. Our email is ocfprez@gmail.com. And if they do have any questions, they can just let us know and we'll be sure to get back to them.
Any further thoughts?
Oh, I want to thank you, Scott, for having us here and for doing the articles that you did in July and in August in the Northland Journal, and for inviting Mark and I to come.
Well, all right,
That's
I'm
very
gonna
good.
allow you, I allowed you to come on, but I didn't tell you how. It's because you came on today, I expect you to be here on the 200th birthday of the fair. That's 50 years. That's gonna make me 102.
Yeah, that would make me 100 and whatever, 16.
Yeah, I'm going to be younger than both of you guys, but
You're gonna be what, nearing like 100?
nearing, yes.
Okay, hey, thanks for coming on, and hopefully you're able to pull off yet another record in the Guinness Book of World Records.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
And thank you for tuning in to another segment of the Northeast Kingdom Voice.